discover how we can very quickly mirror our bare object now that we're done retopologizing with it. The whole purpose of the retopologizing stage is to reconstitute and reconstruct our entire polygonal surface with new geometry that incorporates quad polygons and edge loops wherever we can. And luckily for us, we have a great series of incredibly intelligent tools that will allow us to do half the work on the model itself. And now I need to have a complete model. In order for us to advance onto the UV stage, we need to have a symmetrical, complete model. So we have to mirror this geometry across the x-axis to get the result that we're looking for. To be able to UV, we have to have a complete model. And the first thing that we got to do, we're going to do this in object mode, so make sure you're over in object mode. And then just double check all of your object transforms. Make sure that all of this transform, or the translate, rotation, and scale values are at their default, so 0 on translate, 0 on rotation, and 1 on scale. If it's not, just delete your history, right? And freeze your transforms. We also want to make sure that we don't have any additional input nodes inside of our object history. Often these input nodes can cause some problems, if you will, when we start to mirror our geometry. So it's best to delete your history and freeze your transform at this stage before we advance onto the mirroring of it. So this is going to be a pretty big destructive edit in the mesh itself. We're fundamentally taking a step forward in the stages, the production stages of this model. So this is a great opportunity to save a new version of your scene. That way, if you mess up or if you decide you don't like the result, you always have an option to go back in time to a previous version of the model to work on that raw topology. Okay, let's go ahead and do the mirror. So with the object selected, I'm going to go into the Mesh pull-down menu at the top of the screen. Now, as a reminder, if you don't see these pull-down menus at the top of the screen, make sure that you've chosen all of your modeling tools in this little pull-down menu in the upper left-hand corner of the Maya interface. And we can find the mirror tool right there inside the interface. Once you click on it, you're going to get a little popover that will give you some options here. And specifically, the ones that we want to look at very closely are the axis position. We want that to be world. And we also want to make sure that we're mirroring the correct axis and in the correct direction. So I want to model across the x-axis along the negative side of the x-axis. So just make sure all that stuff is enabled before you go any further. In addition, we also want to merge the border verts. We want this to be one welded together contiguous polygon. So merging those verts is a good idea. And when you're happy, just do a quick inspection before you drop the tool. I'm just looking over my mesh, making sure that things are all looking the way I want. And then when I'm happy, hit the Q key to drop the tool. Actually, the Q key just returns you to the selection tool, which kind of cancels the previous step or confirms the previous step and allows you to move forward. Now, one of the things that we get often when we mirror our geometry are these little chevron shapes here. And this is a product of the smoothing of our topology in the retopologizing stage. So this is a really great opportunity just to kind of go back in and fix all that stuff. You can have a nice straight line, and just doing that in component mode by physically moving the verts. That's a great way of working. There's a great tool inside of our modeling toolkit called Vertex Slide that will allow you to slide these verts along their local normal. So I'm pretty happy with this. This is looking really good. One of the final things that I like to do before I advance past the mirroring step is just to check it. With the model selected, I hit the number 3 key on the top row of my keyboard, which is going to subdivide or give me a preview of the subdivision smoothing. And if everything looks good with the preview of the subdivision smoothing active inside of my scene, then I am a happy camper, as they say. Yeah, look at that. That's looking pretty fantastic. And this is ultimately a really great solid representation of what the final bear is going to look like when we're done with it inside of all of these production stages.